People provoke you to share in degeneracy. So the goal is to compromise you. And with compromise, there's compromise in a positive sense, and then there's compromise in a negative sense. The compromise, if there are two arguments on the table and both of you are struggling, the goal would be to now take out two sheets of paper, try to figure out what's going on, and then draw the equivalent of a Venn diagram or a grid or something like that that will help you to best understand where you both can meet in the middle. That compromise, there's nothing wrong with that type of compromise. But compromise in the form of degeneracy, where you see this push today in marital relationships to bring in a third party, that's compromising. That's degeneracy. One of the partners is struggling with sex, and they thought in marrying you, it was going to resolve the sex issue when it did not resolve the sex issue. That the sex issue is still there. And they think just because they're married and they step out and have sex with someone else, well, I'm married, so it's okay. No, it's not, because you are having marital sex and then you are fornicating with another person outside of the marital home. It doesn't matter if you both agree to bring in another person into the bedroom, it's still considered fornication. So you are both fornicating with the third party while you are also married. And that's the blinding aspect of people that they don't understand. They think that the marriage covers and protects them from any of the consequences that will come along as a result of a certain type of decision. Well, the third party that you decide to bring into the bedroom could easily have feelings for the woman or the man, the husband or the wife. Then what happens after that? So people provoke you to share in degeneracy. A lot of times, sometimes think they ever wanted you. If they want you, if they want to compromise you, why would a person who wants you as a friend, wants you as a family member, wants you as a romantic relationship, why would any of those people want to compromise you? What is it in it? What is it in them that wants to compromise you? Not only are they compromising themselves, but they feel like they need to lower your value some way. So let's look at compromise as a noun and then compromise as a verb. So compromise as a noun is an agreement or settlement of a dispute that is reached by each side by making concessions. And then compromise as a verb is you accept standards that are lower than is desirable. If your standard is to be in a marriage with your husband, that's it, and you decide to accept the new standard that your husband says, hey, we need to bring in a third person, you are compromising. And that's not for the better, right? If you believe in a marriage that should not have any kind of infidelity at all, any kind of cheating, including emotional cheating, and that applies to you as a woman as well, and you decide to emotionally cheat with your quote unquote work husband, then you have accepted a standard that is lower than is desirable, because you can't get mad at your husband for being upset with you emotionally cheating with your work husband. It's not fair to your husband, it's not fair to you, it's not fair to the marriage, it's not fair to the family unit, right? That's why it's very important that you take the time to heal before you decide to marry or decide to get involved with someone. Because all of us, even if we don't subscribe to cheating and infidelity and everything, all of us are still capable of doing something. And all you need is the wrong environment, the wrong opportunity, the wrong timing, the wrong situation, and you can fall. We can all fall. And so that's why you have to understand what your standards are. And a lot of times, if we would have waited to get into relationships, even not even in high school, but just kind of waited to get into relationships, find out who we are as individuals and people, and figure out what our core values are, our standards are, I don't think we would have gotten into so many hasty relationships that could have caused our lives, that could have been detrimental to our lives. But one thing I want you to remember is that compromise means agreement. So whatever you are doing that you don't want to do, you are walking in agreement with that person. If you don't want to walk in agreement with that person, then it's time for you to make a decision to disagree. Now you can sit at the table, have some coffee, talk about it, figure out what you're going to do. But if the other person decides that he or she wants to continue uh, um, doing what they want to do, meaning that they are in agreement with some external force, then it's time for you to exit that situation, because it's going to end up being deadly to you and your life. And so there's a scripture, Amos 3, I think. Can two walk together except they be agreed? Can two walk together unless they agree? So if you stay in abusive relationships, you may not have agreed with the first hit or the second hit or the third hit, but if you're continuing to stay, and we are in 2024 and we have many, 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 many more resources available to us than the women of our past, and you decide to stay in that relationship, that's walking in agreement. Even if the person hits you once and you return, that's walking in agreement. And if you put it on that level, because people love to try to put it on this victim level, uh, don't accuse the victim, don't try to make the victim feel bad. No one is trying to make the victim feel bad, but the victim needs to understand logically and psychologically what is going on, and spiritually, because this is a spiritual thing after a while, that something, some spirit is in that person, that is, that wants to hit you and um, mistreat you and berate you, punish you, do whatever that person needs to do in terms of bringing you down. That's a spirit, and that's a demonic spirit. And as long as you stay in that relationship, you're walking in agreement with that spirit. Your spirit is walking in agreement with that spirit. So it's not an easy situation to get out of all the time, but it is something that you're going to have to make a decision about, regardless. If you don't think about compromise in any kind of way, think about it in terms of agreement. All right, so thank you very much for listening to this series. Visit, subscribe, and follow, so you can find my website, reginawhitefavors.com. I'm on YouTube, of course, youtube.com/ at Regina White Favors. And then my Amazon author page is amazon.com/author/ Regina White Favors. So do take some time to think about some of the ideas that I went through in this particular Shake the Dust Off Your Feet series. I don't know if I'm going to have a book component. I'm not quite sure just yet, but it is something that I am considering. So I do hope that you will listen to the full series. I'm going to have it in full as one video length, and then I'm going to have it separate as well. So thank you very much for listening. Please visit, subscribe, and follow. Have a great day.